Hello, everybody. Welcome to Over a Couple of Drinks. That's David Bowie, Life on Mars. If you don't know why, you're dead to me.
Where have you been for the last week?
For real.
I don't know why.
He's playing us out right now. No worries. Hey, welcome to the show. This is our fun, little, nonchalant, stupid podcast. Welcome to 2016, everybody. We had a rough start. It's technically our 1-year anniversary. Hooray.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Shit.
Are we buying ourselves things?
If we
Are we
made
supposed to get
money,
each other gifts for the...
What is 1 year? Is that like paper?
It's paper. It's paper, yeah.
Got it.
Here.
Got a notebook.
Okay, cool.
Here's some paper. Oh, it's a character sheet, but hey, it's paper.
Woo! So, on our show, as always, my co-host, Chris Birch.
What up?
Our lackluster, lazy fucking producer, LB.
I guess that's me.
And returning is Eric Rohman.
Why, thank you.
I don't remember if I told about you being the gayest man in the world who loves boobs more than any straight man.
I do.
It's true.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. I didn't know if I told that last time. We're not telling it again. And
No, you were mad at me. You were mad at me because I didn't show up at your son's birthday, son's first birthday, and put a curse on him.
That's true. And you didn't show up for the second one either.
Nope.
You're really bad. You're really bad at this game. Really bad.
What can I say?
So here's the funny story. Once upon a time, we were in the green room at our college, and we were talking about boobs, and you chimed in about boobs, and then it was said, yeah, he's the gayest man we know that loves boobs more than any straight man. And we said, well, then why are you gay? Because vaginas have teeth and breathe fire. And we were all like, it's true.
I haven't heard a worse explanation.
Can't argue with that. No.
So, before we get too far down this rabbit hole, LB, give us what our list is tonight.
Well, here's what's on tap, Bill, because that's the branding. I gave this like a year ago from my Headspace.
I'm just going to drink some beer.
So we're going to talk about some news you can use.
Because we don't have Top Shelf up and running yet.
Yay! And then we're going to do a retrospect of last year. Or as Bill wrote, 2105. So apparently we're going to do a retrospect of the future. And
we can. The Simpsons can predict things. We can predict things. I think.
Meta.
I skipped something. First, we're going to talk about something sad. We'll get to that in a bit. Then we're going to talk about Star Wars because there's never not a good time to talk about Star Wars. And lastly, we're going to have a battle of sorts.
A battle
of sorts.
So, again, if you haven't heard, we started off 2016 with
rough.
Real rough.
Rough. Rough.
In 1 week, we lost David Bowie and Alan Rickman. There's no jokes here. It's just, there is a joke here in the sense of I'm cursed and Eric Rohman is cursed.
It's very true.
In the sense of Friday, our really good friend posted that Black Star was coming out. I totally forgot David Bowie was having an album coming out. That was his last album. I got really excited over the weekend. I was going to go buy it. I forgot. Monday morning, I'm driving to work, and there's a car accident in front of us, and the radio was like, and David Bowie's dead at 69 due to cancer. And I go, oh, shit. And my son goes, what's wrong, Daddy? I'm like, David Bowie died. He goes, who's that? I go, I'll tell you later. This is just too heavy right now. To make
my first,
go ahead.
My first two text messages of the day were from Maya Jones and Jesse Snyder before I even woke up, telling me that Bowie was dead, and I was just like, so immediately I went to the interwebs because you need
confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it needs confirmation, and lo and behold, two fucking days after his birthday.
Yeah, 2 days after his birthday. He's dead. And then
3 days after he releases an album, his final album.
Mm-hmm.
Then through the week, I don't remember how the topic happened. This is, honest to God, someone was talking about Chris Rock. I was like, I don't hate Chris Rock. He just has to be in the right film. I was like, he's pretty good in Dogma. I need to watch Dogma. Alan Rickman's in Dogma, and he's fan-fucking-tastic. And the next day, at work, someone goes, so did you hear the fucking fantastic news? Alan Rickman died. And I'm like, no.
Same age as Bowie.
No. Same age, cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tim Curry, don't die. Don't do it.
I'm going to form a protective shield around that man. And he just signed up to be in the Rocky Horror remake, so I think he's cursing himself at this point.
Yeah.
So,
So the reason why Eric Roman's cursed and will never be on the show again, because last time he was on the show, Leonard Nimoy died.
God damn it. That's right. Oh, fuck a duck. So is that like my in to get on this podcast?
Yeah,
Is somebody
it
that
is.
we all love and admire has to... Well, then I'm out. Bye.
Yeah.
Peace.
No. Why can't you kill
Just
the
by
people I
being
hate?
here, I feel like I'm tempting fate.
It's just rough.
I am not responsible for Celine Dion's husband. Thank you. Moving on.
is he dead too?
Yeah.
And your
And
brother.
brother.
Took it a week.
Yep. This whole
And
week...
you guys say,
I don't think we've had as bad of a beginning to a year in terms of death than like 2014 when like we lost Bob Hoskins and eventually we got Robin Williams too.
Well,
but
that was one of the touching things I saw was one of my friends who goes, I was never a big David Bowie fan. I never got into him. And I'm like, well, that's weird because his range of music goes from everything. If there's one version of Bowie you hate, there's another version you love because David Bowie did everything. And he goes, but I haven't seen this much of a response in people on Facebook since Robin Williams, and that tells me a lot about David Bowie.
And you know, it was, for several generations of people, a huge loss.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, his career started in the 1960s, so you do the math. I mean, 24 studio albums in a lifetime, and not one of them sounds like the one before it.
No. No, and that's the wonderful thing about it is you could pull. We were talking because you're doing a tribute show, yeah? Plug it, plug it.
Yep.
Nobody.
We
watches
are
that.
March 12th, 2016, 8 p.m. at Rubbles in downtown Mount Pleasant. My band and another local band are joining up to do an all-night tribute to David Bowie. And as we were talking about earlier in the outtake reel, we're having a bitch of a time trying to figure out what the hell we want to do.
I have one question. What are you showing up as?
Yes.
Are you showing up as the Goblin King or Ziggy?
No. Nope.
No?
It's going to be some version of Ziggy. I even have platform boots in the mail on the way. So, yeah.
Ziggy.
Yeah. And actually, on the poster it says, "Please show up in your best glam rock attire." So,
So that's why for the whole show we'll have David Bowie playing us in and out. Don't worry, Alan Rickman. You'll get your chance real soon. Don't worry. LB will go on to ends about how Alan Rickman is the best. I'm jokingly saying that because he just sits there and broods for whole this fucking podcast. I don't know what he's doing.
I'm waiting for a chance to say something, but I never know when to speak. And then as soon as I get the chance, you're on to like 3 topics later. So I'm just like, well, I guess I'll just keep my. So every now and then you're like, LB, what do you think? And I'm like, oh, here's my chance. And then I'm like, I don't remember what I was thinking.
Also,
David Bowie.
You need to bring back your mic a little bit. You're peaking too much.
No, I'm too loud.
No, you're just peaking. You're peaking. You're fine. There we go.
It should be better.
This should be a lot better. Yeah, I mean Bowie. My parenthood win today was I was singing "Life on Mars," which is my favorite, which is why we opened with it. I love that song to no end. I was singing it. My son goes, "Daddy, what are you singing?" I go, "Life on Mars." He goes, "Can we listen to it?" I go, "Yes, we can." He's 2.5, by the way, and he goes,
starting him young.
Yeah, he points. He goes, "Who's that guy?" I'm like, "That's David Bowie. He was the greatest artist who ever lived." And he goes, "Okay." He woke up after his nap. We were listening to "Dance Magic Dance" from Labyrinth, and he was like, "Is this?" I'm like, "Yes, it's David Bowie." And he goes, "Okay,
Okay.
okay."
Okay.
Kid knows what's up. David Bowie. You have a beef with Labyrinth, don't you, Eric?
I don't have any beef with Labyrinth.
You have a beef with Netflix, don't you?
I have a beef with Netflix and fucking Amazon Prime. Because for the last year, on both of those platforms, Labyrinth has been free. 2 days after David Bowie's death, they're gone. Any way to make a buck.
Those bastards.
Fuck you.
So now you have to get the DVD for Netflix or pay
They're
for Amazon
capitalizing on a man's death.
Those
Yep.
bastards. Quickly, turn off our ads.
Yeah. No, I used to have it on DVD, but I had to sell all of my collection when I moved home 2 years ago, which is a podcast for another time. So
We'll deal with that when someone else dies and we want you on.
no.
Again, I'm channeling all my energy right now towards Ridley Scott. Kill that son
Ridley
of a bitch.
Scott.
Bill.
What? If anyone can hate him, it's me.
That's fair.
It's me, damn it. Me.
No.
Where are we going with this? Bowie.
Bowie.
His last album, Black Star, was fantastic. And hearing... You have more information on this, but I just heard recently that he was actually writing another one because he thought he had a few months left. And that hurts a
Tony
lot.
Visconti said that they were in the process of doing early demos of 5 new songs that are still out there in the ether. And as I mentioned before, for the album he put out before this one, The Next Day, he wrote 29 tracks for that album and only released 12 of them. So the hope is that, like
We
you
get a
said,
full-
Bill,
a full
some
release.
really good people get together and polish those tracks up, and they put them out
Yeah.
soon.
I want
So-
talented artists. I don't want people who want in on it. I don't...
Right.
Like, if Justin Bieber shows up on the album, someone better be killing him in the background.
Somebody asked me what I would do if I won the Powerball last week, and I said I would call fucking Iman and offer to buy the catalog from her to protect it.
Yeah. Oh my god. But with the album that we got, finding out late in the game his one track Lazarus, what it meant was him trying to say, goodbye kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time getting through that song, even though it's amazing. The music video is haunting and hard to watch, and I didn't think I'd be affected that much by him. It's like we lost the people who were like, oh fuck, okay, yeah. But I was like, David Bowie has been from birth with me.
It stung.
It's fucked up.
I was a zombie on Monday.
Yeah, it's
My-
literally fucked up from day one of my life. Probably I was listening to a David Bowie song somewhere, and he was such a part of my life. It's really weird. This isn't like, when I was 7 was like when I saw Aladdin or whatever that shit is. So like Robin Williams was introduced there. You could really see his other stuff that wasn't kid friendly when I was, well, you could. I saw Judge Dredd in theater because fuck it, YOLO. 2014, what up?
And I don't, not to like put Robin Williams or any of the other people who have passed down, but Bowie had such a permeation through our culture. He didn't just sing. He acted, he painted, he wrote, he did photography, he did all of these things, and you don't realize how much someone is in your background all the time, even though you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching The Prestige,
Yes. Thank you.
and
what I was gonna
fucking
say.
he shows up playing Nikola Tesla.
You're just like, David Bowie, what are you doing here?
He had such an insidious way of sneaking himself into. Let's talk about Zoolander, the walk-off.
I was
Who's
one of
gonna-
the
Who's
few
going to
people when that
judge our
came out.
contest? I think I can handle it.
I believe I'm more than qualified.
I believe I'm more than qualified. The Venture Brothers.
Yep.
Their entire series. He was just such a palpable presence, and what killed me about it was he was one of those people that you thought was just going to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because he only recently, when the stills from Black Star came out, could you kind of tell that he aged a little.
Yeah, like watching Lazarus or like Black Star itself. Well, Black Star's not so bad, but Lazarus, when he jumps out of the closet in the skin-tight black suit, you kind of go, oh, you look like my grandma now.
Yeah.
This is rough. You've been through some shit in the last year and a half, and I don't want to know about it. Oh, you're dead. Oh, God. It just... real rough. Real rough. So yeah, this is kind of like our good goodbye to Bowie. That's why we're playing the songs. But also, we got to say goodbye to Alan Rickman. So we're going to toss it over to Birch and LB because they haven't been talking much during the Bowie-ness.
As much as I was affected by David Bowie, it was almost like and I was still kind of reeling from that. And then on Thursday morning, I kind of similarly to your story, I got a text from my girlfriend, and she just basically said, "I don't want to wreck your morning, but Alan Rickman died." And it felt like I had actually been punched in the gut, and I didn't expect that from any celebrity death, at least for a while. Like I said, probably since like Robin Williams or so, when it really just hit me across the face. And I immediately grabbed my phone and I checked to make sure it was absolutely true, and of course it was. And I just kind of like I laid there and I was just like stunned, because he was another person that he just, if you look at him, he looked great even at the end, I thought. I mean,
he aged appropriately.
Yeah.
He added the pounds, but you know what? I'm not the judge. I'm a chunky motherfucker. I'm Chunky Monkey from fucking Baskin Robbins. What up?
Last year, like 2 years, he was on Broadway.
Yeah.
He was doing a play, and he was a lead role in that play, and he was doing it every night, you know. And I just imagined he was going to be around for quite a while, and of course, I had no idea that he had cancer.
No. Same with Bowie. We didn't know. And
Yeah.
They didn't want to tell us.
I think that's the mark of a really good Hollywood or entertainer period, is they don't have to wear their ailments like badges of honor all the time to be like, oh, look at me, I stubbed my toe this morning, I'm going to tweet about it. You know, they want their private shit to be private.
Right.
And that's not how they want to be remembered.
Obi, you got anything to say about Alan Rickman? Or can I start asking questions about these guys?
It's sad. I mean,
The emotion of LB, everybody. Round of applause.
I don't know. Celebrities, like anybody else, they die unexpectedly sometimes. It's sad we lost someone who was an actor, but a good actor, a great actor, etc., etc. We admired as an actor, whatever you want to say.
Why don't you go plug yourself in, you fucking robot? Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
I was a huge fan of his work, obviously. I mean, enjoyed seeing him in movies and everything, and he seemed like a great person off screen as well.
Robot.
I think that was one of the things I was really sad about, is I really wanted to meet his ass. Like, I really wanted to meet him before I left this world, or he left this world, or whatever.
He seemed approachable.
You did. Okay, now here's the $6 million question. What movies do you instantly think of when you think Alan Rickman? One movie. Go. Birch.
I do not think of Harry Potter, you fucks. I think of two movies. I think of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and I think of Dogma.
Good.
Yeah.
LB.
Well, first of all, I don't believe Birch, because the first thing he still said was Harry Potter. But
well, it's hard not to when everybody's posting all this shit about Snape, and I'm like,
yeah.
I get it. I know he's Snape. But.
I was going to say Love Actually and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Great choices. Roman.
I have to agree with Love Actually, and more recently CBGB, because I just watched it, and he was excellent in that movie.
I already know what Bill's going to say.
I know what he's going to say.
Again, Generation Bangarang wins it. You weren't here for this one, Roman. Generation Bangarang is between Generation X and Generation Millennial, or whatever the fuck it's called. Because we
Fuck
don't belong.
millennials.
Millennials suck.
Fuck 'em.
Generation X is assholes too, but I think you're part of it. But you're part of Boomerang now. Not Boomerang.
Bangarang.
Bangarang. Bangarang.
Bangarang. Bangarang Rufio.
Because we're the people who think The Hook is the best movie ever made.
It is the best
Duh.
Generation Bangarang. That's what I'm saying. Because we don't believe Alan Rickman is Snape. He's Hans Gruber.
Mm-hmm.
He's Hans Gruber. He's Dr. Lazarus. He's the dude from Love Actually who had the heartbreaking, terrible story that kind of made you
He
want to
was
cry.
the judge in Sweeney Todd.
He was Judge in Sweeney Todd. He was Marvin. He was, oh God, what's his name? Marston in Quigley Down Under. Because if you saw Quigley Down Under, you're a friend of mine.
Huh?
He's Alan Rickman.
I just did a quick Google search because I needed to know what's his last film. And it's the sequel to Alice in Wonderland.
That's a shame.
That's right.
That's a
Because he
shame.
played the caterpillar.
He's playing the caterpillar. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well, okay.
That's a shame. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just watched Galaxy Quest with the wife tonight, 2 hours before we
Great
did this.
movie.
Fantastic film. It just, we were watching it and we're like, it's hard to think he's gone. Because like with everybody else, I mean, maybe not so much Robin Williams when I was like, because he was really out of the blue. And you're like, oh God, okay, yeah, that's rough. But like, I'm watching it, I'm like, Alan Rickman, you're still there, you're still fantastic. And she's like, why didn't you want to watch Die Hard? Because I didn't want to watch him fall from a roof.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see Tom Selleck gun him down.
He dies in a lot of movies,
I didn't want to
actually.
see Tom
Because
Selleck gun him
he's
down,
usually the
you know?
villain. So.
Yeah, but he plays it so well.
Mhm.
I mean, that's why like the first thing I posted when Alan Rickman died was Hans Gruber, because I posted it on my Facebook too. It was like, when I say Die Hard's the best action movie ever made, it's not just because the action star is the first, down to base real person we ever seen in an action film before. It's also because you love the villain so much to hate him, and he just pours villainy with every word he says. And Alan Rickman made that happen.
Mhm.
He was suave and greasy and evil, and you didn't trust him, and yet sometimes you just wanted to go have a beer with him.
Yeah.
Hans Gruber.
Yep.
Should we get off the sad stuff, guys?
Yeah.
For now?
That's by that time.
Moving on.
Moving
Before we
on.
all break down sobbing.
LB, what's
Before
next?
somebody else dies.
Any other news we want to talk about? Skipped it.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay. We're going to talk... This is where we're putting Disney is laid dumb, because it's just not enough.
Remind me what this is about.
They announced that... what's her name? Emma...
Watson.
Watson? No, not Watson. Emma
Thompson?
Stone.
Stone?
Stone will be playing Cruella de Vil.
Oh, that.
Cruella de Vil.
Yeah. Okay. So I did read about this. They're making a prequel.
and
They're basically doing to Cruella de Vil what they did to Maleficent.
which I love, because as soon as I posted it, and 2 hours later when I could check my Facebook again, you guys said all the jokes I wanted to say. So go ahead, Birch. Go ahead, Virginovi. What were you?
Somehow they're gonna have to, if they're doing the same thing they did with Maleficent, they're going to have to make her the good guy, which means they have to convince me that slaughtering puppies and making coats out of them is a noble thing to do.
I think I said they're going to have to play some storyline where her parents were slaughtered by a pack of wild minks or some other animal often used for fur coats.
They're gonna have to work in
it's
there
a
somewhere.
revenge story.
They're gonna have to work in there somewhere about her being attacked by a skunk, hence the hair.
Yeah.
I think she might get spurned by a lover who had a Dalmatian, and every time she sees one, she just gets angry again.
That sounds so
So-
dumb. It's so dumb.
She's going to be struck by lightning. That's the hair. You
Yeah,
know.
that's the hair.
That's how it always happens. You know.
That's how it happened in Super Mario Bros.
So I have to say that next to Maleficent, I think Cruella de Vil is my second favorite Disney villain, just because
So they're going for all the hits right now.
they're just really
They are targeting
rickballing
you.
me.
Really?
Because
Really,
she's
Cruella
just
de Vil?
nasty for no good reason. That's what I love about Maleficent from the original Sleeping Beauty. She's just a cunt because she can be. Are you going to bleep that? I hope you don't.
No, I'm
And
not.
No, I don't
think
believe nothing.
Literally, though, I think because
the,
of that,
the hierarchy of saying the C word goes woman, gay man,
I think, yeah,
and then
I can't say that. I'll get
and then
shot, but
and then we're down here
Yeah.
as white man.
I will say cunt because it is a word.
There you go.
LB,
Well,
big grass balls.
I think the unfortunate thing is that that's the villains that they want to recreate. They're finding the ones that are just dicks and just making them have
There's no
more
way to make her nice.
Um,
There's no way to make a puppy-killing villain nice.
Can I interject real quick that I would have thought that your second next villain would be Ursula?
No, but she's next.
She ekes into the good number 3. Although Jafar almost elbows her out.
They're gonna make a Gaston one, and I'm gonna hate everything.
Well, they're making a live-action Beauty and the Beast film.
Yep, they are.
I'm hesitant, but I will see it
Okay.
because I love the movie.
We've said it here before. We'll say it again. Emma Watson isn't a great actress.
No.
Everyone banging on her. She's more of a. She's done more for feminism than she's done for movies. So get over it, people. She's not good.
Well done. Well spoken.
So she's playing Hermione
She sure was a good
in
Hermione.
France
In a yellow dress.
in a yellow dress.
Dating a big hairy guy.
Not a
Wait.
big stretch for that. I don't know.
Although I will say they did a really... Okay, so they went for Maleficent and then they did Cinderella.
Yeah.
The thing I liked about Cinderella was they didn't try to reinvent the wheel with that.
Good.
The Lady Tremaine was nasty. The stepsisters were nasty. They didn't rewrite the story. It was still the same basic structure. It was visually beautiful, and Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. The other one they said what they were doing was The Little Mermaid.
Well, Tarzan comes out this year.
Oh, is that them too?
Yep.
Okay,
And-
that stars.
A whole bunch of people we just talked about. Christopher
Sweet-
Walken.
sweet-
No one I care about except
No, no.
Chris Walken.
You mean Jungle Book, not
Jungle
Tarzan.
Book, not
Oh.
Tarzan. Excuse me. Somebody else is doing Tarzan. Jungle Book.
Yeah, no.
Yep,
Jungle
sorry.
Book.
I will watch that movie for Christopher Walken, and that's it.
Yeah. Again, we brought it up here, but you weren't here for it either.
Do it again, Bill. Do it again.
You, I want to be like you.
do.
Ooby-doo. Walk like you. Talk like you. Ooh, baby. Now listen, man cub. Give me fire now. Because I held this watch up my ass for 7 long years.
Hopefully.
Again, we talked about this when we first heard about it. It was like, why is Bill Murray playing Baloo and not John Goodman? Anybody? Oh, because he's in that new movie that looks awesome. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Cloverfield. Fucking finally.
Those were guns. Cloverfield. Yeah, I don't know. Jungle Book looks like it's trying too hard.
And I don't know how they can call it live action since everything is going to be CGI anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Little Mermaid is being made with Chloe Grace Moretz.
That's not Disney.
Moritz.
That's not Disney?
That's not Disney.
no. Mm-mm.
It's not?
That's
No.
the common mistake because they're calling her Ariel for no reason, but it's not Disney.
And they said
It's gonna be based on the original Hans
So she's
Christian
gonna-
Andersen.
She's going to die at the end and turn into sea foam.
right?
Mhm.
Spoilers.
Okay.
Okay.
Spoilers. Oh, sorry. For those of you who don't know the original fairy tale, yeah, it fucking ends on a real low note for Ariel. Not only does she die, but first of all, she has to watch her prince sleep with his new wife. So,
Ursula.
yeah.
And when she gets those new legs, every time she takes a step, it feels like her feet are being crushed by glass.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Can we just have this wrapped up in a Hellboy 3? Because there's a story about the Little Mermaid with Hellboy 3. I mean, Hellboy. I'm just saying. I gotta bring up Hellboy
That
3.
was a rumor.
Hellboy 3? It's a rumor?
Yeah. I thought that wasn't a thing.
In my
I
heart,
thought
it's
it said
real.
no. Well, I would like it to be real.
Del Toro and Ron Perlman together alive.
Hey, speaking of things we don't want to be real, segue, kind of.
Into what?
Terrible.
Oh.
Rocky
I
Horror
know
Picture
mind
Show
reader,
remake.
man.
Oh.
What are you doing?
The Rocky Horror Picture Show. So the cast list came out for that.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these people. I really
Except
don't.
for one.
Well, okay.
If they
Victoria
cast
Justice?
Tim Curry as Dr. Scott, I'd be so upset. Man,
actually,
this throat needs to
Tim
go-
Curry has been cast.
He's
Yep.
the narrator, yeah.
He's the narrator.
Yeah, when he was cast, I said, I didn't even know what role he was playing yet, but I was like, I don't need to know because I already know. It's obviously.
What else can he be?
But actually, you brought up Dr. Scott as a possibility. I thought, well, that makes sense.
that would just
but-
be kind of the dick thing to do because he had a stroke and he actually is in a wheelchair.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I noticed they got Adam Lambert to play Eddie, and I just should they have got like a rock and roll type of
they should have got Jack Black.
music? Yeah, right.
They should have got Jack Black.
All right,
Why didn't they get him? That's so
There we
good.
go. Yep, Adam Lambert joining Fox's Rocky Horror Reboot.
I mean, he played Meatloaf's son in Tenacious D.
Yeah, for a reason. That's casting that's in the books already. It should happen.
That should happen. What?
Like, I'd rather have Adam Lambert play Frank. I don't really want him in it, but if he's going to play anybody.
Who is
yeah,
Adam
but
Lambert?
okay. So they have Laverne Cox playing Frankenfurter.
I don't know who any of these people are.
She's from Orange Is the New Black.
Okay.
She's
who's Adam Lambert?
Adam Lambert was on American Idol, flaming gay. He's actually been touring with Queen for the last year
Yeah, he's the new lead singer, technically. For
Yeah.
Wait, Queen's still around as a?
Yep.
Yeah.
as a band. Yep, and they're on tour.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
he's the new Freddie Mercury, and I hate that I have to say that.
Oh my
Yep.
god, that I feel like I need to get punched in the dick when you said that. Holy fuck.
Yep.
Oh, so okay, what's the girl playing Frankenfurter? Can we talk
Okay,
about that? real quick?
okay.
Cox.
Laverne Cox. She's on Orange Is the New Black.
I heard she's
She
fantastic.
is. She's amazing on that show. She's a trans.
Gender?
She transgender.
She's transgender. Thank you. I wanted to say transvestite because we
Yeah.
were talking about regular. That's all.
IRL?
She's trans. Yeah, she's
IRL.
transgender.
Oh, she is.
Transgender, and she's black. Okay.
Okay,
So-
okay. knowing
this
that
kind
she's actually transgender. Like, she started off a man in real life and then went to a
yes,
female.
yep.
I'm more okay with her being Frankenfurter now.
I get it. However, here is, and this is where I get on my soapbox for a minute. Because
that's our
we
show.
are living in the age of butt hurt so hard right now that they felt that they had to cast a black transgender in a major remake of a cult classic. Because they knew if they didn't,
Someone would get upset.
the backlash would go on forever. So that is my beef, my only beef with Laverne Cox playing Frankenfurter.
That they
is the
did that
fact
because
they
of
had,
that.
Yes,
They had
exactly.
It wasn't that they went out on this big casting search and they said, you are definitely the best person for it. I
Right.
mean, they might have. They might have. But-
So I'm going to segue again back to something because I didn't bring it up because I didn't know how to bring it up, but you brought it up really well. Is can everyone get on my level for like social commentary and shit where you just
Hold
don't
on,
care?
hold on. Okay.
Where you just don't care? Because I read an article that was like the one thing everyone's forgetting about David Bowie is that he was gay. And I'm like,
What the fuck does that matter?
why does it matter? I'm
He
sorry.
wasn't.
He was
Okay.
gay and then bisexual. Then he was bisexual.
He
funny
admitted
that
it was
you
all
bring that
just
up.
it was a basically just something he said to bring attention to make himself more mysterious.
Listen, my point is, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It should
Shouldn't.
never
It
matter.
shouldn't matter. However,
Race,
we live in,
Race,
we live in
sexuality,
the age.
giblets doesn't
Yep.
matter. All right.
No, it's funny that you bring that up, Bill. Not to kind of spin off that. I was reading earlier an article about how somebody asked him years later if he ever regretted coming out as bisexual, and he said he paused and he thought, interesting. But it turns out, but back in the day when he married Angie Bowie, during the height of the Ziggy Stardust thing, that Ziggy Stardust was this huge personality that he created. Ziggy Stardust was that androgynous, bisexual, transsexual, pansexual thing. And when Bowie said it, people took it and ran with it like it was gospel truth. And then years later, when he was asked about it, he went, that was Ziggy Stardust. That wasn't David Bowie.
But my point is simply, I was raised, again, this is me, I was raised not to see, color of skin.
Right.
And which bled into gay, straight, I don't
Yep.
give a fuck. And
Yep.
in my point of view on transgender or like whatever this is whatever. I don't care. I just don't care.
Well, and I think that's Fox trying to make headlines for themselves, maybe,
Yeah.
by casting Laverne Cox as Frankenfurter.
And I don't know how I really feel about. I mean, yeah, she guy, whatever, doesn't matter. But I mean, one of the appeals towards Rocky. Again, this is the thing about. I don't know what the fuck Rocky Horror is doing. Anybody who loves the originals is not going to watch this shit. It's not
No.
going to be anything because anybody who loves it's going to watch the old one. It's not. The timing's not going to work out for all the jokes that we know and love.
Right.
So why are we going to watch this? Nobody who's new is going to watch it because it's a
It's
fucking bizarre
not-
show.
It's not going to replace the original.
No, so why is it existing? And then on top of that, it's part of the uncomfortability of Rocky Horror is that Frankenfurter is played by a dude and seduces a perfectly straight man and a perfectly straight woman,
Yep.
and is just a hornball alien.
Yep.
And that's the uncomfortableness about the show. The show is about weird and fucked up things that I don't even understand. I watched it since I was 10 and I didn't get it, and I still don't fucking get it.
Richard O'Brien has said in countless interviews that he's openly homosexual, but he was so confused and conflicted growing up in the 40s and 50s when he did, as a kid, when we weren't able to talk about those issues so openly as we do now and throw them around. That was the whole basis for Rocky Horror, was his way of dealing with who the fuck am I?
That's great. That's great.
Who the fuck am I?
I mean,
So, yeah.
in the last few years of my college experience, we did do a gender bender swap where everyone who was a girl was played a guy and every guy played a girl. It worked, but again, I still felt like Frankenfurter could have been anybody. Because that's the point of Frankenfurter. And if I think about it that way, I think it would be really awesome if the remake was a gender bender.
Yeah.
Just to put a middle finger to everything and have every girl play a guy. and dressed up as a guy, and every guy played a girl and dressed up as a girl.
Well, and then this is the only episode of this show that I ever watched, but Glee a few years ago did a Rocky Horror episode.
I refused to watch it.
Well, I was curious. I was morbidly curious, and the person they had playing Frankenfurter was a girl, dressed in the Frankenfurter drag.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's
So, and I think it was a black girl. Now that I've come to think of it.
Because apparently the only person that can replace Tim Curry is a black person. We'll just let it sit there, because it's true. That's it. Remake of it. We need, can we get Terry Crews to play it? Pennywise?
Caitlyn Jenner.
I was actually going to say, Terry Crews would probably make a pretty good Frankenfurter.
Terry Crews would make... Listen, if Terry Crews showed up as Frankenfurter, I would watch that show. To no end. I love that man. That man can do anything. I was actually really sad when he didn't get the Luke Cage part. I was super sad when he didn't get Luke Cage. But I like the Luke Cage that we got. We got anything else on news, or can I just talk about Berserk real quick?
There was something else, and no, there was not. Berserk, go.
Berserk. Okay, so Berserk's getting a new series. Berserk is a manga/anime. The anime came out in like 1998, so around the time Cowboy Bebop came out too. So that's your time frame of being old. It's a really, really dark fantasy where magic is very low in the anime, but in the manga it's a lot bigger. Well, the exciting thing is that it was widely received as being very, very good. They released a bunch of movies that kind of filled the gaps between that, and now they're coming out with a second season, so to speak. And it even caught the attention of Stan Lee, who said, this shit's going to be great. So I'm super excited for Berserk. It's honestly one of my favorite Japanese art style things I've ever seen. It deals with a lot of heavy shit. It's really good. Really good. I highly promote it. You can find the anime probably anywhere. Watch it. Watch the outtakes afterwards. It's great. Berserk's done. We're getting the second season. Woo!
Berserker.
LB, what's next?
What is next? Well, we're done with the news that you can kind of use. I guess we're talking about going back to the past.
To talk about the shitty movies that sucked ass?
And other things. The new things.
2015 retrospect. Whoa.
The year we went back to the future.
Again.
Again.
I'm still mad about hoverboards.
That's not a hoverboard.
It's not a hoverboard.
That's what we got.
Yeah, something that spontaneously combusts.
How many Jaws are we behind on? Like 10?
There's supposed to be Jaws 20 in the movie.
Oh shit! So we're like 15.
So they're like 16 behind. There were 4 Jaws movies.
Were there 4?
Yes, there were.
There were 4.
Oh, I
We don't talk about.
I keep thinking about Deep Blue Sea as a Jaws film.
No,
Which one
but
don't we talk about? I was getting mixed up.
Revenge?
Jaws the Revenge?
Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
part
4. Yeah, you can still ask Michael Caine today, and he'll say, "Oh, I was in that movie.
I don't remember. I'm very sorry.
I got paid."
So, retrospect, I basically just wanted to talk about, like, what was your favorite movie, your most disappointing movie, your most hated movie, TV show, video game, song, just stuff like that. Who wants to... LB, you haven't talked a lot. Why don't you start...
You always throw me...
We'll throw you under the bus. Let's start with a category of movies, and we're just going to hold off, and Birch is going to shotgun everything
Okay.
else. So, what was your favorite movie from last year?
Oh, shit. Well, let's see. The only new movies I saw last year that I can remember were Inside Out, Jurassic World, and... Was that last year, Jurassic World?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
And Star Wars The Force Awakens, of course. I didn't get to see as many new movies as I would have liked, but that's what I ended up seeing. And of the 3, I guess... I'm honestly going to say this. It was close, but I'm going to give Star Wars The Force Awakens the edge because it's Star Wars. And it wasn't the prequels, over Inside Out.
Okay, that's I mean, it's a very good choice.
And really, the 2 movies, it's apples and oranges trying to compare them, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Inside Out. I thought it was a great sort of movie for understanding emotions and such. I'd love that movie.
I was
It might
very
be
pleasantly surprised by that movie. It was very
I
well done.
I didn't get a chance to see it yet, so I'm kind of sad.
Check it
All
out,
right,
Bill.
we'll
Even
spoil
you
it
would
for
like it.
I love Pixar films.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's right up my alley. Just kids,
Yeah.
little kids you can't take out to go see the movies yet.
Right, and I think it's, and then your kids, even your eldest son is still a little too young for that movie. I would say it's more of a good movie for like a 10-year-old, say.
10,
Or even
18.
a tween like the main character
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, someone who's going to be dealing with, like, well, 11, I think. So
Yeah.
someone who's dealing with those emotions, you know.
Okay, cool. But you
it's
picked Star
great
Wars
for-
over it. Why?
Because it's, like I said, Star Wars, it wasn't the prequels. But I would also say, no, I'm not going to say that. Jurassic World would be my biggest disappointment.
Oh, I was going to go to Eric Rohman for his favorite before we went through everyone's.
I don't care.
Okay.
Because
Go back.
Jurassic World, to me, Jurassic World had the same problem as Star Wars The Force Awakens, which was they were like a new, bigger version of the original film they were based on.
Yeah.
You know? But I thought Star Wars did it much better, making it new with new characters and such.
And didn't miss the point.
Yeah, I didn't miss the point. Whereas Jurassic World, the whole movie felt like they made a point early in the movie, and then about making it bigger and more teeth and stuff, and that's what the entire movie ended up being. And it was like the entire movie was just a big joke.
Yeah.
This one big joke, like, hey, more teeth, and it was like,
Stop
okay.
I recently just rewatched it because I got all of them on Blu-ray for Christmas, and I just recently watched Jurassic World from theaters, and I was like, this is not good. This is not good at all.
It relies way more heavily on nostalgia than Star Wars did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Wars had its drops, obviously, because it's a big nostalgic kind of thing, but Jurassic World was like riding on that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was your least favorite movie you saw, LB?
I just told you. There's only 3 new movies I saw.
Well, out of all the movies you did watch, which was your most hated?
I just told you. It was Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. Jurassic World took both disappointing and worst. All right, Eric Rohman, what was your favorite movie, most disappointing and hated?
I saw a shitload of movies this past year. I gotta say, Star Wars and Fury Road are neck and neck.
That's a hard
Both,
choice.
it's a tough choice. What I appreciated about Star Wars was, one, it didn't touch on the sins of the father, aka the first, whatever you want to call the, Phantom Menace through Revenge of the Sith.
The non-existent films in my household.
Yeah, we don't talk about those. I also didn't feel like I was drowning in CGI from the word go, which was amazing.
Refreshing.
Refreshing. It touched on those nostalgia points. They slipped things in that if you weren't paying attention, you missed. I thought it was an excellent, solid movie. Can't wait to see what comes next. Fury Road, however, I mean, again, all the practical effects they did. And I know a lot of people were really like whinging on and on and on about how like Tom Hardy maybe had like 3 lines in the entire movie, but it's those two are definitely like they constantly eke out for the number 1 spot for me.
Okay, so
Because
you
they're
have
both
2.
amazing.
I'll allow
Yep.
it because those 2 are really
Okay.
hard to do. Most disappointing.
Biggest disappointment. Also a twofer. One of them was Trainwreck, which
Okay.
was that Amy Schumer film.
Yeah.
I got dragged to it by a group of friends, and I sat there for 2 hours waiting for it to be funny, and it never was. And my biggest disappointment about that movie was that Tilda Swinton had a cameo in it, and I want to know to whom she owed a favor, because she's better than all that. And I just guess I don't understand Amy Schumer. Sorry, world who loves her right now. Second one was the Poltergeist remake.
Oh my god, that trailer made it look so freaking creepy.
The only problem I had with that movie was they decided to call it Poltergeist.
It would have been better if it was just called something else.
It would have been, because it had nothing to do with the original Poltergeist.
I hate those.
Zero. Zilch. And the fact that Sam Rockwell was in it, who is one of my favorite like indie movie actors ever. I mean, he's brilliant. It was just kind of like, I don't know. All I have to say is that Zelda Rubinstein must have been rolling in her grave. So.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Most hated film from last year.
Most hated, Trainwreck.
Okay.
Absolutely Trainwreck.
Birch, do you want to take up this helm?
I gotta butt in for a second. I'm
Okay.
sorry, because I completely forgot to mention Age of Ultron came out last year,
Oh, yeah.
which just goes to show you how that movie was just kind of. Here's another movie. All right, go ahead.
Birch, favorite film from last year?
Star Wars. I mean, I to be fair, I was looking back at movies this past year that I saw. I really only saw like 5 movies this year. It really wasn't a great year for me. I'm usually much better at that. But I am going to try to watch the Oscar noms because I hear there's some really good ones in there. I want to see Spotlight. I want to see Room. I want to see Carol. But of the ones that I did see in theaters, Star Wars was great. In terms of disappointing, Ultron is definitely up there. Unfortunately, I had a lot of high hopes for that one, and it was fun. Because I went with a bunch of groups of people. I ended up seeing it like 3 times, but it's a fun movie. It's not one I'm ever gonna probably own because I just don't think I'd ever want to watch it at home. I don't know. I've seen it. And
It was a bridge movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bridge movie. It didn't move forward and it didn't go backward. It just sort of was.
And Ultron could have been a wonderful villain.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see more of, and we talked about this in our review months ago, but I wanted to see more of Ultron before he decided I want to fuck everybody.
I didn't hate the film. I thought it was fun because
I didn't hate it. I did not hate it.
Again, I was looking for a very fun film, and I had a very fun 2 hours in there, 2.5 hours. So
It was entertaining.
Fuck you all. Fuck you all.
It was entertaining. It just wasn't. It didn't. The Avengers was a better movie for me.
It was fun. It was fun.
Ultron didn't have a wow factor. There's nothing
No,
like,
it didn't. You're right.
wow, it's okay,
Yeah.
it happened.
What happened? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So least favorite, hated film of 2015.
I don't know if there was one that I actually hated besides like ones on Netflix that were just stupid.
What was it? Just give it out.
It was called like shit. I don't even remember what it was. It was this scary movie about. It was one of those like the whole thing takes place through Skype.
Oh, Unfriended.
Oh, Unfriended.
No, it wasn't that one though. It was a different one.
Okay, so
It was
Unfriended ripoff.
Even dumber.
It Follows.
No, that was,
I wanted to
That
see
one was good.
that was
I
good.
heard that was good.
you
Lazarus Effect. Because that one's been
No.
out on Netflix. All right. Because I watched a bunch of those B Netflix horror movies in like a week.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, you look it up. I'm going to tell mine. My
Right.
favorite film of last year was really hard to take out of 3 films. Star Wars, Fury Road, and my winner. But I'm going to talk about why I didn't pick the other 2. Though they were both amazing balls, fantastic, I had to be worried about them for so long. Because I'm a huge Mad Max fan. I love Road Warrior. I love Beyond Thunderdome. I never really got into Mad Max because it's a weird, fucked up Australian film. Jonesy, really gonna fuck with the bag right now? Are you on the catnip again, you son of a bitch? That's my cat.
On the nip.
On the nip.
Just on the nip.
Catnip and bags. That's his drugs, man.
Jones. Damn it.
God damn it, Jonesy. And like same with Star Wars. I was terrified for it. I was scared. And yes, they were amazing, and they're probably better than my favorite film, but it doesn't change the fact that the wow factor of seeing a film that had no anything behind it was Ex Machina. That movie fucking blew me away. It was fantastic. Well acted, small cast, great concept, decent special effects for a low-budget film, but really, really great. And I loved it. It was just one of those films I went, wow. I don't know if it came out that year or last year, but the same thing with, oh god, what was that? What's that movie called? Something Project. I don't know. It's on Netflix. It was really good. Doesn't matter. Okay, my most disappointed film. I didn't hate Age of Ultron. Jurassic World was up there, but it was actually Spectre.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I recently just watched it. It was very good, but it tried to do a lot of things in the last film that should have been built up properly, and it just was kind of it was a huge letdown for me because I loved Skyfall.
It was very formulaic.
Yeah, Skyfall was by far my favorite. Is my favorite James Bond film to date right now.
Damn.
It beat out the originals because it took the reins and moved a main story away from James Bond, especially since Daniel Craig had a very main focus storyline, personal storyline. They took it off of him, put it on Judi Dench. It was great. Why am I blanking on the villain's name? Silva was played by...
Blofeld.
What?
Blofeld was the villain's name.
No. In Skyfall. God, why is this happening?
Silva? Raul Silva?
Yeah, was played by...
I don't remember the name of the actor.
I don't remember the
Yeah.
dude from No Country for Old Men. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. He was amazing. He was everything I wanted out of being like a retro...
This can drive me nuts.
A retro villain who, came back... In the sense of, like, he was a retro villain and over-the-topness, but was brought into a modern setting. And I loved him for it. And then we got to...
Javier Bardem.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we got to Spectre, and I was excited for Spectre. I wanted to see Spectre so bad. And, Xavier Bustier, the fucking Drax the Destroyer, was great as the over-the-top, the over-the-top henchman that I've been asking for since Daniel Craig's day one, that someone to actually beat the shit out of him, and he did, except he was gone too soon. The story was forced. It was just a big letdown. So Spectre.
Bill.
I gotta... Oh, sorry.
Can we make a montage of you trying to say Bautista?
Bustier.
Bustier. James Bond was one of those film franchises that I was raised on because my dad was a huge Bond fan. And when Spectre was announced, I was like, okay, cool. But I feel like they've been trying too hard to make James Bond a thing again. Well, if you know what I mean. I mean, okay, so we suffered through Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. And even Daniel Craig says that he's sick of playing Bond.
Oh, no, he's done. He's
done.
They gave him a great write-off, a great off into the sunset moment at the end of this, and it was I was like, okay, then this is kind of okay, but it doesn't change the fact for last 2.5 hours I had to sit through a bunch of bullshit that should have been set up in the last 3 films.
And that's fantastic, and I think that they could probably walk away from James Bond for another 15 years, and I would be okay with that.
They're not going to.
Except then Idris Elba can't play James Bond.
Yeah. Who what?
Except then Idris Elba can't play James Bond because he'll be too old.
That's true. Okay, so who would you like to see be the new James Bond then,
Idris
Bill?
Elba.
You're in a
James
paradox
Bond?
right now.
Are you out of your mind?
I know, am I crazy? So,
You worked in Blazing Saddles.
it worked Piss on you, I work for Mel Brooks. That's someone we have to work. He's on our death watch, by the way, this year.
Oh, don't say that.
Every year for the last 5 years.
Pretty much. So my most hated film. Oh my god. So here's a funny story from behind the scenes. There was actually a review regulars episode for Pixels, that Adam Sandler film, where it was literally a minute and a half of me looking at the camera going, I don't know what I watched. That was the most atrocious thing I've ever saw. But then I had to delete it because there was a worse film. And it was The Fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
I didn't see it. Didn't bother.
I watched it.
I couldn't.
It was painful.
I couldn't.
Not surprised.
I saw it for rent, and I couldn't.
It was so painful.
And here's what kills me is they're talking about doing another one.
Put it down. Put it down.
Well, maybe I should
down.
talk about it more because maybe it'll die.
Oh my god, that movie was so bad. When Dr. Doom shows up and he looks like an incredible crash dummy, I was like, oh fuck this movie.
Did he actually say there is no victor, there's only doom?
I think so. It's been so much of that is dead to me. I had to cut off half my brain to forget that film. So those were the movies. This will probably be real quick. TV shows. Who wants to go first this time? Huh?
I will.
Oh,
All right. Best
Everyone
TV
jump at
show
once.
of the fall, The Muppets, hands down. Muppets, one TV for me. I was actually looking forward to American Horror Story, and while it started out strong, it fizzled out in the middle of the season, and ended up being my biggest disappointment. So there you go. There's my TV for 2015.
All right. Who wants next? Hubby was all excited to jump on this.
all right. I don't watch a lot of TV, as you may have known. I'm gonna go with Shield, and because season 2 would have ended last spring, correct?
Yeah, so we're on season 3.
So there we go. Season 2 of Shield, because
Okay.
that's still 2015
and
technically.
it was really good.
It was really good. I didn't. There was a part or whatever. I want to.
Do you have your most hated?
My brain just kind of crashed. I'm sorry.
I think it did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was bad. So Shield, most hated. No, I don't watch anything.
Heroes Reborn.
Like, the only TV I consistently watched was Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones.
And that was good.
Yes,
It wasn't as good as Daredevil, but it was good.
It was really good.
Oh, Daredevil.
Which
Daredevil's.
Oh, Daredevil. Daredevil
Daredevil's
was this
tops.
year.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the same year. Shit.
Daredevil.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Daredevil takes it. Win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most
Jessica
hated?
Jones just gave me very conflicting feelings about David Tennant.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
He's still too pretty to play a bad guy.
But he does it so fucking well.
He does it very well.
Daredevil
Well,
season 2, March 18th.
Yeah, I'm conflicted about we're getting that before we get, Luke Cage or Iron Fist or Defenders, but whatever.
They just
Most-
announced we're getting the Punisher too.
Punisher series is coming, yeah.
Which
Punisher.
the Punisher is Dolph Lundgren back? Huh? He's my
Sorry,
Punisher,
Dolph
baby.
Lundgren
You should play a villain in that show.
He
Just
should.
saying.
They should get Tom Jane to play a villain too, and Ralph Ray something. What's that guy's name? I don't remember the guy who played it.
No,
in
nobody
Warzone.
remembers.
But he's in Thor now, so he's already established canon. So what was your least favorite TV? Birch?
I watched a couple episodes of Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was not good.
That was highly disappointing.
Yeah.
So
Highly disappointing.
my favorite of last year.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I?
Say
gonna
it. Go ahead and say it.
Ash versus the Evil Dead.
That's exactly what I
Oh,
thought.
how'd I forget?
I wish I could have watched it.
I'll give you a site.
Okay.
Other than the very very end being disappointing because they had to make a new season kind of thing. They had to leave it
Okay.
off because it was too good of an ending. It was perfect. Like the ending was perfect until they took a left turn to make a season 2. So I can't be too upset at it. But holy shit, it is literally the Evil Dead 4 you've been wishing for since Evil Dead 2. Because it's more Evil Dead 2 than Army of Darkness. Because they don't have the rights to Army of Darkness, so they can't reference it. In true Evil Dead fashion, they can't reference the last film. Oh, I love it. But it was great. Bruce Campbell is amazing. The supporting cast is great. Lucy Lawless is kicking as much ass as she did since Xena. It's perfect. They go to the cabin, and it's wonderful. You get all emotional because it's the cabin.
Lucy Lawless is in like all my favorite things now because she's in that. She's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2, and she's in Parks and Rec.
She's one of those people that, like, you never really took seriously, but now she's just kind of like, fuck you guys. I'm loosely fucking, here I am.
They want to bring her back for Xena for a new show, and I'm like, do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Do it. I don't know how the show ended. I don't know if she's still alive when the show ended.
They rode off into the sunset together, I think.
Oh, were they holding hands? Because there's a lesbian theory for that.
Something about that, I don't remember.
Okay, and my least favorite one was probably Game of Thrones, just because it was a lackluster season.
Not enough death for you?
No, I'm also just dreading the new season because I want to read the book first. George R. R. Martin, get on that shit, please. Stay at home for like 3 months and write that shit.
Oh, I got a worst TV show now.
Go.
Once Upon a Time.
I stopped watching
That
like,
show
forever ago.
at some point was pretty damn good, and it was really gone down the shitter.
I think it has something to do with like the villains have to
I
be
think it
Disney.
was somewhere around season 4.
because season 1's villain was fantastic with Mr. Gold,
Yeah.
and then season 2,
Magic is a prize.
Yeah.
season 2 brings in Hook, and you kind of go, I don't I love this.
No,
man.
Season 2 didn't bring in Hook. Season 2 brought in a hunk to play Hook, and all the girls coozed themselves.
Okay, but he was really good.
Okay, yes, he was.
He was fantastic. Okay,
Fan Four Stick?
fantastic. Okay, this one's probably going to be a real short one, but anybody got video games?
Until Dawn.
Ooh, I want to get it. Is it
Until
great?
Dawn is so good.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend played it through like twice. We went through and we were trying to save everybody.
I heard it out David Cage games, which if you don't know who David Cage is, he did Heavy Rain and that the Two Souls game or whatever. And it plays like that, but it's like you're trapped in a cottage and like over the top like slasher film happens. Right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Great. Great.
I can't give away anything else because it'll be spoilers. But
Oh, wait, you play any games?
I don't think I bought a new game last year and
What
all
was
of
your
last
favorite
year.
game that you played? Doesn't have to be a brand new game. Just game.
Well,
Homeboy? What do you think about it, Roman?
So, the week after Christmas 2014, so that would put us at the first week of 2015, Steam put out the Alien Isolation pack for like $23. So I bought it and all of its expansions, and it is the most difficult, awesome game I think I have ever played in my life.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It nerd boner the whole way through.
I did I did some playthroughs on it, so you should watch it. It's okay.
Although, when the alien discovers that you can hide in a locker, fuck it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Did you play Crew Expendable yet?
I have not.
Okay, there's a scene. If you play as Dallas, it's very, very reminiscent because you have to go into a vent and your motion sensor doesn't work. So Lambert has to give you directions. And it is the most terrifying thing in that entire game. I love that game to pieces, but I played it in 2014, so I can't put it on here.
I'm going to have to go back and do it again, just because I didn't... Going through the main story is so draining.
It is.
That I had to hold off on the expansions.
I personally feel that the story itself dragged on too long. It had halfway through there's a clear-cut ending, and it's great.
Yep.
And then it keeps going, and there's some great scenes in it, but it's not good. It's not as great. But that game is the best Alien game I've ever played in my life.
It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. So mine was a late entry in 2015, but Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, so I'm a huge Rainbow Six fan. My brother played it when I was young. It was like the game that put Tom Clancy on the map for video games. I don't know if any of you played Rainbow Six before, the original PC game.
yes.
Permadeath.
On 64.
Permadeath. So like you could recruit people, but if they died, they're dead. If they were wounded, they were out for a few games. And it was insanely tactical, where you had a plot and plan where everybody went on like a map, and then you had to execute it, and you could take control of one character and do it, and it was great. And then somewhere like in the 360 days, Xbox 360, they came out with Las Vegas, like Rainbow Six Las Vegas.
Vegas and Vegas 2. They're pretty good.
And they're really good, but they're not Rainbow Six. It was like
They don't have that tactical feel.
it was Gears of War Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
So then they were talking about doing Rainbow Six Siege, and they were like, okay, what is this? And they immediately almost turned me off when they said, it's online only. So it's a multiplayer-only game. And you go, what? And it's a 5v5 game. 5 attackers, 5 defenders. But it is the most Rainbow Six game I have ever played since the original. It's amazing. Every character you can pick on whatever team has a specific perk that makes them special. Like... on the attacking side, someone can blow through doors that are like reinforced, or set thermite to go through like steel walls. Not to mention, most of the environment is destructible. Ceilings, walls, everything can be blown up. So all of a sudden, cover can turn into nothing. And like it's great because it's turn based. Once you're dead, you're out for the round, and you have to scout and ping things and work with a team to breach walls, to like defend, fortify, and like protect like either bombs, hostages, or like a location. And I've played it for like maybe 30 hours in this whole year. Like I got it right after Christmas, and that game is so fucking good. Like it blew me away on how good it is and how incredibly tactical it is. because you have to have a clear plan, and once your plan goes to fucking shreds because half your team's dead, you have to come up with a new plan, and like, oh my god, that game, perfect, so good. Least favorite game?
Arkham Knight was really disappointing.
Oh,
And I didn't want it because I played the other Arkham games. I like binged them when I got my PS4 because they were all available. I had like a week free of PS Now, and I could like stream them for free. And Arkham City was great. Arkham Asylum was great. Arkham Origins was alright. And Arkham Knight was just kind of disappointing. And the reason, I think, was because they wanted you to rely too much on the Batmobile. And the Batmobile is fun to control. But when all my boss fights are like tanks, like I'm literally driving around in the Batmobile shooting at tanks, it's just not really a Batman game anymore.
yeah.
Like, one of the boss fights was against Deathstroke, who is, known to be a world-famous assassin.
and
Hand-to-hand fights should have definitely happened.
and it was kind of underwhelming in Origins, so hearing him come back was like,
Exactly.
oh, great.
Like, all right, Rocksteady's making a game and Deathstroke's in it, and then he's like, come get me, Batman, and he's in a tank, and I gotta shoot at him with the Batmobile. I was like, okay, this is stupid.
We're done here.
hmm But Mark Hamill did an amazing job, as per usual, as the Joker, and the way they used the Joker was really, really cool,
But
even though he was dead.
he's dead.
Yeah,
I
even though
played
he's
City. He's
Mhm.
dead.
Wait, was this Arkham Origins or Arkham Knight?
Knight.
Or was
Arkham
it-
Knight.
Arkham Knight, okay.
To be fair, I know how he comes back, and I saw a scene, and I was like, that's
It,
good.
it works in the game.
That's-
Spoilers.
Spoilers, deal with it. Doesn't
But-
matter, that game sucked. Had a terrible release on PC.
Oh my! It was broken on the PC.
It was broken on the PC to the degree they had to pull it from Steam and refund people. And you know how Valve is with their money.
hmm
Mr. Roman, you got a bad film? A bad game?
Bad game. It didn't come out in 2015. It's been online for a little while, but it's a game that I was really looking forward to. It's an MMO. It's Marvel Heroes.
Oh, yeah. The Diablo-esque game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started out really cool. I mean, you could play... I was geeked because you could play Storm right out of the box. And then I, spent money and bought other characters, but it's... They haven't done anything with it in the last 2 years that makes me want to go back and play it again.
That's too
Because it's literally run, dumb, fetch. Run, dumb, fetch. Beat up bad guys, run, dumb, fetch. And 3 of my favorite characters, Jean Grey, Psylocke, White Queen. It's dumb having that many telepaths playable in the game because how many
Different
variations can you do it? And after playing through them and leveling them up, about 3. So, biggest disappointment as far as MMOs that haven't bothered to evolve in a long time. Marvel Heroes really needs to get on the bandwagon before I click on it again.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Grievous. Sorry, am I supposed to keep with your pseudonym, Mr. B?
Mr.
LB?
B, Mr. L. I think it's too
LB.
late for that, Bill. I think we're past that now. I don't know. I don't remember playing a game I didn't care for last year.
Okay.
But I remember the game I liked.
Go.
Yeah,
I think Space Engineers was like officially released last year, right?
Yeah.
Which I love because space.
Space.
Also, about 7 years ago, this guy I know told me about all these awesome Star Wars games I missed out in my youth. And last year, Humble Bundle released them all in a pack. So I got all the Kyle Katarn series of games, Star Wars,
those
Dark
games are
Forces,
so
and
good.
Jedi Knight, etc.
Dark Forces, Jedi Knight, Mysteries of the Sith, and Outcast. I don't include the Academy because it wasn't that good.
I was going to say, I played through them all. I
hope
started
the-
Academy and just kind of stopped.
Like Academy, you play for multiplayer because the lightsaber combat got way better, but like the story is so bad because you like create your own character because they were pressured by KOTOR.
Alright, I got it. Worst game of last year for me was Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy.
Good work. Good work.
Well done.
Well done. Because Kyle Katarn is the
10
best
years
Jedi.
overdue, or 15 years overdue. even.
Katarn is the best Jedi ever made.
Jaden.
Jaden. So my most, it's not hated but disappointed game was Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. And it hurts me to say that because it's a really good game, but it lacks direction and story. For, you know, Metal Gear, having a fucking story is maybe the most key component of those games. It's like story stealth, so figure that shit out. But it's like all over the place. It's open world unnecessarily. So it's like, oh, I just finished this mission. Your next mission is across the fucking map. Good luck. Get there on a horse. Haha. And it's okay. And I'm just kind of disappointed with that. Do we want to do books, or are we done for now? Take a break.
I have books.
You have books?
I have books. I do have books.
Go.
I have books.
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book is also my most disappointing book. I know. Little mind blown. So, for years and years and years and years since the release of Hellraiser, Clive Barker, who is a mad fucking genius, has been talking about this book, The Scarlet Gospels.
Okay, yeah.
And it was supposed to be this epic... Oh, what was that?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't. It was supposed to be this epic final tale of the Cenobites and Pinhead, and it was supposed to explore the origins of the Order of the Gash, and it was supposed to talk about, you know, their purpose and yada 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 yada. Instead, what I got was a 200-page novel, 300-page novel, I can't remember. It's short. That culminates in Pinhead trying to take over Hell and having a standoff with Satan that ends how you exactly expect it to end. Yeah.
Okay.
Satan going... So, this 20-year build-up waiting for the Scarlet Gospels to be released, and then I get this book in my hands and I read it, and I'm just like, oh...
Oh, no.
Womp.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. So, yes, that was my best, most anticipated book, and also worst letdown book of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get as much reading done as I wanted to. In February, I actually bought the versions of Wolves of Kala, Songs for Susanna, and The Dark Tower that I wanted. And I wanted to read through them, but then life happened. So I'm still on Wolves of the Kala. And I also picked up the latest in the Dresden Files, the Skin game. Read the Dresden Files. And I'm reading The Martian now, so I can't say shit. Those are books. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Up right next is David Bowie with Heroes. Hello, everybody. David Bowie, Heroes. That's Birch's request. Good shit.
Mm-hmm. One of the best. One of the best.
One of the best.
Just for
By
one
far.
day. I would play all of them during breaks and intros, but we don't want to get this fucking disputed so hard. All right.
Disputed so hard.
Disputed so fucking hard. LV.
Yes.
What do you got for us on tap, buddy?
On tap, we got something about Star Wars that Bill wants to talk about.
Okay, no, I didn't want to talk about this.
It's kind of something about some wars in the space.
Space Wars!
I was done with Star Wars after our review, which you should go watch.
Okay.
But then the internet pissed me off. They poked the bear so bad. And just all the
They
shit...
stabbed the bear.
All the shit going on about it right now is pissing me off to no end. Like, everyone ripping Kylo Ren a new one, and I'm like, what? Like, calling him a pussy bitch and an emo, and I'm like, I don't understand, so I want to know what you guys thought about the internet.
He wasn't badass enough.
Because he's still an apprentice.
Yeah,
Hello.
I have theories on this. So
I just wanted him to be Darth Vader. What kind of be Darth Vader?
Like, we had one of our friends who's been on before, John Rhodes, said he lost all faith in him once he didn't kill the guy who brought the bad news, instead took it out on the command thing. And I was like, I liked that scene because I still wasn't, grasping what he was doing. And we've seen bad news brought to the bad guy before. Let's murder him. But
they
go ahead.
But they even made fun of that themselves when they had the two stormtroopers walking down the hall. Nope.
I don't want to, because you still don't want to fuck with him. Because the dude can stop a blaster bolt in midair. Don't fuck with him. Mm-hmm. But I got a theory on this to make things work. Why he wouldn't kill somebody? All right. Because they're not the Empire anymore. They're still basically ISIS. They're a small group. I mean, ISIS.
They're not really expendable.
Yeah, they're not expendable because the perfect LB. You're gonna have to look this up for me because I might fuck it up, but you'll know. Just look up TIE Fighter, okay? The difference between it is, in the original series, the Empire didn't care about their people. They cared more about technology. They cared about more advances and fear and control. And its perfect example is the TIE Fighter, which stands for Twin Ion Engine Fighter. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Let me flex my Star Wars nerd real quick. Oh! Okay, we whipped it out. We're good. Where the TIE Fighter actually didn't have shields, didn't have a landing system, was basically launched out as like a fucking kamikaze fighter. Because they didn't care about people. But you notice the first thing we know about the TIE Fighters in the First Order? They have ejector seats. They probably have shielding and a lot more armor on them. Because they care about the people, because it's hard to get by with people.
And they're not using clones anymore.
Well, the clones were never stormtroopers.
But still.
They phased out. And on top of that, you notice it right away when... Because Kylo knows that Finn didn't shoot anybody. And Captain Phasma knows he didn't shoot anybody. But they still went through the tests because they can't afford getting rid of people. They need the numbers. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense why he didn't murder the officer who brought the bad news. Fucking deal with it, people. That's one of my theories. I got plenty more. Don't fucking worry.
I can go with that.
It makes no sense. But like,
I could also go with his and they touched on this. His what am I looking for? What's the word? His difficulty balancing light and dark within him. His morality. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna look it up, but I haven't seen it. When did the scene where he talks to Darth Vader's skull happen? Does that happen before or after he takes it out on the machine?
After?
Wait. Before. I'll say it's before.
Before.
Okay, because if it happened, like, he takes it out on the machine and then he talks to the skull? Or the other way around?
You know what? I think it's after. I think because he gets pissed off. He gets pissed off because he says that he got away with a girl.
Yep.
That Finn got away with a girl.
Yep.
And then
he goes talks to the skull?
Then I think he talks to the skull.
Because that makes even more sense, because he says, I can feel the light side pulling at me. Mm-hmm. That he didn't murder that guy right away. Well, there you go, people. Pay fucking attention. Also, fun thing about that scene was brought up by me joshing somebody, where someone put up, like, please notice me, Senpai Vader. And I go, Ghost Vader ignores comment. And someone goes, well, since it's a ghost, wouldn't it be Ghost Anakin? Therefore, he was redeemed by the light side. And I go, so wait a minute. You mean to tell me when he feels the light side talking to him, it's Anakin Skywalker talking to him when he talks to the skull?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. And what I read, did I tell you this? I think we did in the review. I'll say it again for the folks in the back. J.J. Abrams said that he knows about Anakin's redemption. He knows that Vader became, kind of went back to the light side, and he sees that as a weakness in Darth Vader. He's like, I want to be stronger than him. He gave in to the light side. I don't want to give in to the light side like that.
Not to mention, heaven forbid, we actually have a villain that has an arc and progression to go. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Yeah, they wanted him badass right out of the box. They wanted him to be a Sith Lord right out of the box. He's still training. He hasn't completed his training. He's still dealing with his morality. He's still dealing with all this shit with his mom and his dad without giving too much away. He's dealing with all of this crap that he's like that rebellious teenager who's just like, screw you, mom and dad, but we don't have the full backstory on why he left Luke's training. Mm-hmm. We don't know. So people need to calm the fuck down.
And at the end of the day, he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid who doesn't even, I think, completely understand what he has gotten himself into.
Yeah.
And that's why he's not just a ruthless killer. That's not who he is. He kills like maybe 3 times in this whole movie. And after one of his big kills, he immediately has this look of like almost regret, and just he's really thinking about what he just did. You know,
he was coddled while he was being raised, and clearly has a really bad case of affluenza.
I hate you.
That was a really bad joke.
You and your
hate you so much.
socially relevant commentary.
I don't know. There's like a post of like Vader wore a mask because he needed a breathing tube and system to regulate his things. Why'd Kylo Ren wear a mask? Because it's the idea.
Because he wants to look scary.
He wants to look scary, but
That's the whole point of when he takes the helmet off. Everyone in the theater was like, "We're expecting that." We don't know what we're expecting.
Right.
But
We
it
got a
wasn't
guy.
this kid.
It was just
He's
a
just
guy.
a guy.
And it was great.
Because why do you think he wears all this shit? He's just a guy.
The
He wants to
intimidation
look
factor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other,
Because if that goofy motherfucker with the hair walked up to me, I'd be like,
who the fuck are you? And then he'd run a lightsaber through your chest.
yeah.
And then when your friend tried to shoot him, he'd stop the bolt and probably send it back to him and then piss on his body because he's a fucking hardcore badass. The other thing was like people talking about how he's a bitch because he got his ass kicked by 2 people who never used the force, never
I
handled the lightsaber force.
completely disagree that he got his ass kicked. That implies that he didn't have a shot. And
Because
He let his emotions run wild during that battle. He lost his discipline.
well, not even that. With him versus Finn, that was a cat playing with a mouse, and it was clear. They're like, well, he didn't kill him. I'm like, well, we just got introduced to this character. His name's not Darth Maul or Qui-Gon Jinn. Fucking deal with it. You
Right.
know? I'm glad they didn't kill Finn.
His level of control over his emotion was so low that he was punching his own wound just to raise his pain levels, which would then raise his anger.
Yeah, and then him losing to Rey. Spoilers. Fucking deal with it. The movie's
Yep.
been out. It's the biggest fucking film
Go-
ever.
Okay,
go
if the
fucking see
movie
it.
has been out for like 3 weeks, if you haven't seen it yet, you're not going to see it.
It made $60 bazillion. Real fact.
But
But like him fighting Rey, okay? Half that fight was Rey parrying and running away. The other half of that fight was him not wanting to hurt Rey because he wants to turn her. And then when he started to lose was because Rey has this weird ability that we don't know yet that she can literally tap into the Force for whatever reason. Fucking Valley of the Jedi levels, strength Force levels. That's Jedi Knight, Dark Forces too.
right there.
Right there. Deal with it. And remember what we know about the Force? It lets people see things before they happen. Luke Skywalker does that in the Millennium Falcon versus the droid. Fucking Anakin Skywalker brings it up about pod racing, why he's the only human who can do it. Well, she just tapped into the fucking megaload of the Force. She can outbeat the fuck out of this guy, even if he's been trained in saber combat, because she knows what he's going to do before he does.
And that's one of the things that drives me nuts about this internet thing is people were bitching about how there was no strong female character and la da 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 da. But then when the female character did get strong, they were like, "Oh, Kylo Ren's just a pussy bitch," and da 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 da. So
Because no one is ever content with anything ever.
yeah,
No.
Like,
excellent. Let the butt flow hurt.
Well, so we're not just defending Kylo Ren here. Let me defend a character who is totally misused, and we blew, and I don't think it's on their fault. Captain Phasma, which everyone was like, she's the new Boba Fett. Well, she still is because she didn't do a goddamn thing
Nope.
and looked cool. But I honestly believe that was our bad. We built her up. And they grabbed a hold in merchandising and said, yeah, blow her up, because they want more of her. And they already shot the film. They can't change it now. You know? So, I don't mind that she was in it so little. I'm glad she was there. I would have liked more, but again, I think we blew her up too much.
I want more of the traitor guy.
Yeah.
Which
That's what I want.
they put out
Sim-
a backstory, which was really good.
Simon Pegg.
More Simon Pegg, please. Okay.
Yeah, more Simon Pegg.
The
I
traitor
think
guy-
my favorite character in the entire movie, not to like go off on a tangent, but and her name escapes me. The bug-eyed.
Kanata.
Thank you.
my
Really?
Like, maybe 5 minutes of screen time. Brilliant character
really,
because
Mine's
I
BB-8.
loved her.
She was my least favorite part of that movie. She was like
I loved her.
the CG nightmare. Just
Which, fine, whatever. You're entitled to your opinion, but I thought she was a great character.
character, fine, yes, okay. But as a
Allow me to pull
presence in the film, it was just
Right.
terrible.
It was a low blip on the radar, but
Yeah.
yeah.
My favorite was this person. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're not entitled to your opinion.
You know what
Yeah.
someone said to me, Bill? Someone actually interpreted that thumbs up as him flicking him off,
That's great.
which is even funnier.
BB-8 is the best, hands down. Okay, so Huffington Post put unforgivable plot holes in Star Wars.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Here we go.
And a fan, though, I read about it because a fan tore it to shreds.
Oh, some fan got it and just, like, he
Yeah.
basically gave answers to every single one.
Annihilated it.
Yeah, and I love this because they're not even plot holes, for Christ's sake. It's like, number one, they blew up a 120-kilometer Death Star in Star Wars. The rebels needed a detailed plans for the base and a full-scale invasion force, as well as the supernatural targeting skills of the Force, the powerful Force user in the galaxy. Yeah, with this one, they just went and blew it up. And I'm like, okay, one, they sent like what, maybe 15 X-Wings to take out the Death Star?
Mhm.
Maybe. This one had like, what, 10? And they failed. They bombarded it, and they failed. And it took a ground force, a la Endor, to do it.
Yeah, they were retreating.
Yeah, they were retreating. They backed off.
Poe was like, we gotta go, y'all. Like, we are losing this.
I'm going to try to get through all of these because some of them are so dumb. Like, the wily Han Solo loses track of his most prized possession in the Millennium Falcon for more than a dozen years and all of a sudden knows where it is instantaneously. Oh, because, he's not probably searching for it everywhere he goes.
He set his tracker
Yeah.
that whenever it entered, like, orbit, it would tell him where it was.
Yeah. Kylo Ren, a powerful Force user, fights a lightsaber duel with an ex-janitor who has never held a lightsaber before and yet loses. We already covered that. You're full of shit. And he's not an ex-janitor. He just worked in sanitation.
And it was told in the backstory he was trained in hand-to-hand combat.
Who Finn?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he was probably trained with the same guy who had the traitor. Traitor. Rey becomes nearly as an effective Force user in a few hours as Luke did in a few years. Again, she clearly taps the Force that didn't get awoken until Kylo Ren started poking around her mind. Because she didn't have it before. They did do an interesting thing that was in the Rebels TV show, where their little kid, like, who's becoming a Jedi, has this like weird, uncanny thing to fix like droids and electronics because he has the Force and doesn't know he's using it. She does that to a degree, and I liked that. They kind of brought that in. But the rest of it, fuck you, okay? Just minutes before Starkiller Base explodes, Supreme Leader Snoke tells Hux to go get Kylo Ren, and they take him off planet without any problem of knowing where he is. Are you really going to bitch about that? The reason Ren was slowly bleeding to death instead of being dead by Rey's hands is that a massive chasm had just miraculously opened up and several feet between the two of them. Well, it was also, a nice piece of symmetry of, like a picture of her standing over a chasm that meant the dark side. Come on, they're not going to... His name's not Darth Maul. They're not going to kill him in the first movie. I can go on. Do you want me to go on with these? Because these are fucking terrible. I'm amazed at how...
Point of the story is that we finally got a movie that we wanted.
Yeah.
For, okay, so Phantom Menace came out when I was a senior in high school. 99, thank you. We've been waiting that long for redemption
A proper
for
Star
Jar Jar
Wars.
fucking Binks.
Mm-hmm.
We got it. We got a love letter to the fans from J.J. Abrams and Walt Disney, whatever. But we got it. We got exactly what we wanted, and now all the malcontents, all the armchair philosophers, all the people who haven't bathed in 30 years but have, dedicated their lives to fucking Star Wars, got butthurt.
I didn't get
Because now...
There is a petition
Oh
online
my god.
for George Lucas to direct Episode 9.
Put him
Fuck
down. Put him down.
There's that's being signed by like thousands of people
No.
who are saying that they're like, it's only right that George Lucas finish his story.
No. Nope. I did sign a petition. I did sign a petition for Star Wars Episode 8 to give MC Chris a cameo.
All right. He could play R2-D2.
He could just be in the background drinking booze. I don't care. MC Chris needs to be in the next fucking film.
He can be the martini guy from Jurassic World.
Right. Okay. So, Bill, only because I've been waiting for 2 hours to hear this, Carrie Fisher.
Okay, so Carrie Fisher has been really outspoken about this fucking movie since, like, day one. And I just want to put her in her place because she's a dumb bitch.
Jeez, Bill.
Well, okay. Let me stretch.
Here he goes.
Okay.
Buckle up.
Carrie Fisher, okay? She gets all butthurt, one, that she had to lose a bunch of weight to be in this movie. They wouldn't let me be in Star Wars if I didn't lose a bunch of weight. Well, you know who else had to lose a bunch of weight? Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, and he was only in it for 20 seconds.
He was only in it for 20 seconds, and I'm sorry, but you turned yourself into Jabba the Hutt, lady, okay? Two, after the movie came out, she was all upset that people were saying that she didn't age well. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't, okay? What was the joke? Debbie Reynolds, your mom aged better than you. All the booze and all the drugs, everything. You look terrible, sweetie. You look better than you did 10 years ago, but you're a mushmouth, all right? You can't understand a fucking word you're saying, and I needed subtitles. I needed subtitles to know what you were saying, okay? And before you say, oh my God, you're being so mean to ladies, I made the same thing about fucking Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 4. He was a mushmouth so bad that they had to redub over him, and the lip sync didn't line up, and it was bad. If you don't believe
He gave a shit about this movie.
Yeah, if you don't believe me, watch the first 5 minutes of Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls when he gets thrown out of the trunk. His lips do not match up with the words. It's terrible. It is so bad. And also, Harrison Ford looked old as shit in this film.
He's melting. It looks like look at his face.
But
like
he's like what, almost 80? So he's allowed older. To. You're 60, darling.
What's really
60 and you look 80.
Yeah.
This is awkward. When in my theater, like Han Solo came on screen and everybody cheered, and big cheer, and then like Luke came on screen and everybody was like, "Yeah, man, there's Luke." And when Leia came on screen, I think I heard one person go, "Woo!"
It's not that I think she looked out of place. It's just I couldn't understand a fucking word she was saying. Okay, and that was because you didn't take care of yourself, sweetie. Okay, that's it. I did like that she made a comment about the slave Leia outfit, saying that because she said they need to get rid of it. All right, it needs to be done with. But then she said something that was great, and to redeem myself from ripping her a new asshole that she will never watch, was that she said that someone was like, "How can I ever tell my kids about this outfit?" And she goes, "Yeah, you mean about the oppressive, ugly piece of shit gangster that put me in it? Then I choked him to death. Yeah, how are you going to tell your son about that?" And I'm like, that's why I don't have a beef with the slave Leia outfit. Mm-hmm. Jabba was a sexist pig, and then he got murdered, and it was awesome.
That's why you don't chain ladies up.
Yeah, it's true. You don't. And the other hate list is Sam Jackson. He said, quote, "The kids need to go to lightsaber fight school," when he was talking about the movie. And I was like, excuse me? Fuck you. Because the lightsaber fights we got in this movie had way more emotion and way more action that I cared about than the fucking prequels.
I thought they were great. They looked beautiful, especially in that snowy forest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what else did I hate about people? I don't remember. Fuck you, Internet. Shut the fuck up, okay?
We live in the age of too much information, and everybody has Facebook and Twitter, and everybody has an opinion, and you know what they say about opinions.
Yep, assholes.
Yep.
You're all assholes. I'm right.
Yep. And do you think that J.J. Abrams, who's counting his $28 bajillion right now, gives a fuck what you thought about Episode 7? Zero.
You reminded me. We even said it ourselves that the film followed a little too closely to A New Hope.
Yep.
But I got to thinking. It just beat Avatar.
No, it didn't.
No, it did. It beat
No,
Avatar.
it didn't.
No?
No,
it came in third overall. Everyone keeps saying it's the highest grossing film of all time, but it's not.
Okay, let's peel back the layers real quick and talk about Avatar.
Do we have to?
I'm pretty sure I saw Avatar before. It was called Dances with Wolves or Ferngully. I don't know which it was. Okay?
It was both.
So, one, the highest grossing movie was also a ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if you want to talk about one of the best movies of last year, Mad Max Fury Road, if you strip it down, it's basically a remake of Road Warrior. It really is. Granted, it's a lot different, but it basically is. So people need to pump the brakes about being Force Awakens be unoriginal, right? Pump the brakes, get the fuck off it.
The reason that they both were good, Force Awakens and Fury Road, was that they were love letters to the fans who either grew up watching them when they came out originally, or were introduced to them and can subsequently have watched them over and over again over the years. Like, I have not watched Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, or Revenge of the Sith since they originally came out all those years ago, because they were so awful that I just can't. I can't.
You need to watch Red Letter Media.
Okay.
Watch their reviews on it, because it's literally 90 minutes of him ripping Phantom Menace a new asshole.
I've watched the movie sins.
Oh, no. This is a full in-depth why you really hate it without being like... This
like
is,
an hour and a half long.
It's like Revenge of the Sith is probably 2 hours and a half.
Okay.
It's the full runtime, and he tears it apart on every level. And he does it in the voice of a guy who survived the Titanic who murders hookers. He made that persona, and it's fantastic. Okay, you'll instantly love that show. Okay, look up Red Letter Media. I love them.
All right.
I think that's it for Star Wars. Internet, just listen. If you didn't understand something, watch the movie again. It's all there, or it will be in the next fucking film because they set up for 3 films. Yeah. This movie made $70 bazillion.
Mm-hmm.
LB, what's our last topic?
Our last topic is versus.
Versus. So this is something I want to bring up all the time as like a kind of fun little thing where we just talk about like in the sense of 2 people from fictional universes end up in an arena and have to kill each other. Go. Who wins? So
God.
It was just Celebrity Deathmatch.
Celebrity Deathmatch, exactly. And there's people who do it on the internet already, but fuck it, we're doing it too because we don't give a shit. And this came up pretty much because I was reading the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle team-up, and Batman was kicking the shit out of all the turtles, and I said, no, that would not happen. The turtles were raised from birth to kick ass as a team. And then he's like, I'm just easily dodging because Batman's fucking overpowered.
Because he's Batman.
Because he's Batman. So, I asked you guys to come up with a couple of versus matches, and we're going to discuss who wins. Who wants to go? LB, you first.
No, I've been going first like all night. No.
Bert, you go. And then LB, you're second, because you haven't said shit in the last hour.
Is it just from anything?
Anything. Anything at all.
Okay. Jack Black versus Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make
Because
sure all
Meatloaf would eat Jack Black.
Whoa. Depends. Meatloaf at his prime or Meatloaf today?
Meatloaf
Versus
today
Jack
is so
Black
fucking crazy
He'd eat him.
that he would still eat it.
He would
Literally
eat him.
eat him.
I think he would eat him and then spit, and as he spat him out, it would be like beautiful harmonies.
It would be
It would
beautiful
be.
harmonies that would be Bat Out of the Hell 4.
Bat out of hell.
Okay? Because that's all the man makes, is Bat Out of Hell. You can chill on it. Anybody got one?
Okay.
LB, you got a fucking
Go.
versus?
Sure. We're gonna go with. I'm looking around the room for something that could fill this kit.
I literally gave you guys like a fucking week to come up with these.
And you know what? And we're shooting from the hip. But I found mine. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Go, LB. What do
Bill,
you
you
got?
go.
Me? Okay, we'll put a big one down. Superman versus the Incredible Hulk.
Because I'm big enough of a dork that I have visual aids.
Oh, good.
I think. Oh, good. I'm excited.
Superman versus the Hulk.
I love the Hulk, but I'm gonna go with Superman
I have
because
to go
he is
Superman.
overpowered.
Superman is the American people would come to his aid if he needed it, and Superman. Well, the Hulk's edge is that as he gets angrier, he gets stronger. So that's his edge. But I think with all the power Superman has, he would find something, freeze him, and then throw him into the sun or something.
I was gonna say Superman always has that. Throw him into the sun.
And by the way, we're not pulling punches here.
The sun.
Superman would kill them. Okay,
He
we're
would.
not
It
saying
would take a while, but it would happen.
So yes, in this stand of thing, Batman versus Superman, Superman wins in 0.6 of a second. Okay, because he just goes.
We're going to make a
Have you
2.5
seen the
hour
new-
movie
the-
about it.
Have you seen the clip from the movie they just released like 2 days ago? The
Where he
Batmobile charges at Superman and then bounces off of him.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go with Superman, but in my mind frame, it was that Bruce Banner did his little meditation thing to keep the radiation in him, as he did a la Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. But we're going with the more angry he gets, the more powerful he becomes, and eventually you end up with a doomsday scenario where, Superman will win, but will probably die because he's out of, solar radiation kind of bullshit or whatever. So,
Okay.
Mr. Rohman.
Well, I just thought of another one that I'll do first, and then I'll save this one for the next go-around. Eartha Kitt versus Julie Newmar. The Catwomen.
I have to vote with Kit.
Yeah?
I'm voting with Kit.
Oh, God. I don't know. I'm always more of a fan of Julie Newmar.
Me too, Bill. Me too.
I mean, she wore it so much better.
False, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
Okay, LB
Okay.
to be fair, LB has a personal preference there.
Well, I think many young men in 1992 had a personal preference there.
And that LB was one of them for his first boner, okay?
Yeah, okay. And you know what? I give you that one for free because Michelle Pfeiffer in black latex on any day, primo.
Saying meow.
Saying meow, primo.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Julie Newmar, though.
Julie Newmar.
Oh, no, hold on, time out. Anne Hathaway.
She did a decent job.
Because she's my one.
I'm going to say she's the worst Catwoman next to Halle Berry.
Oh my God, Anne Hathaway.
Yikes.
Did you not see her bend over on that bad pike?
I was there.
I was there sitting next to my wife, and I was like,
True story.
True story, okay?
Story.
Besides, she looks the other way because, Chris Hemsworth. Those abs.
I got one.
Blind people appreciate Chris Hemsworth, and they didn't even know what he looks like. But still.
All right, hold on. Before LB gets one, let's get a joke one out of the way. Chris Hemsworth's abs, Chris Evans' abs, or Chris Pratt's abs?
Oh, God.
Ryan Reynolds' abs.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds? I was going to go with Daniel Craig.
But Chris Pratt, for being real.
Chris Pratt or Chris Hemsworth, because he's literally a god. I mean, he plays Thor. Fuck you. Okay, Albie, what was your real one?
I had a joke one, too. It was Tom Selleck's mustache versus Burt Reynolds' mustache.
Tom Selleck.
Oh, Tom Selleck.
Yeah,
Just 'cause I
Steve
feel like
Harvey's
easy one.
mustache.
Just because I feel like more dirty
Steve Harvey's
B-roll... Steve Harvey's... I feel like more dirty B-roll actresses have sat on Tom Selleck's mustache than Burt Reynolds' mustache.
I would say that more because when I see Tom Selleck without a mustache, like In and Out, I really feel like Earth is about to explode. And I like In and Out. It was really good. But when he didn't have a mustache, I felt like the chemical imbalance of the world was off and we were going to implode or some shit.
Yeah. It is weird. All right, you want to see my visual aids?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have, speaking of Tim Curry, the Lord of Darkness
Okay.
from Legend
Yes.
versus Tilda Swinton as the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia, who have been enjoying a complicated relationship on my bookshelf.
Now this led to my comment on it of going. I really want to see like a dogs playing poker of those two, Gladys, the alien queen, and Lord Voldemort, and I would hang that on my fucking wall as a fucking masterpiece.
I think we need to commission Jay Fosgate to do this.
Please. I gotta give it to Tim Curry because he's literally the devil.
Okay.
He's literally
I gotta
Yeah.
go with the same thing.
Yeah,
He's
but the
also
White Witch is allegorically the devil.
She is, allegorically, that he's got a point. Well done, C.S. Lewis.
I don't know. It's just Tim Curry drinking unicorn blood.
Would she get a chance to turn him into stone first, or would they just like? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a tough call.
Let's face it. They'd go out for dinner.
They would. They'd get in a couple good blows, and then they'd kind of like look at each other and just go, "So
karaoke,
pizza,
Turkish Delight."
Turkish." Turkish delight, wash it down with a little
Oh fuck!
unicorn blood.
I honestly think LB with the jokes actually won it out for her.
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Okay, I'm done.
That's all you got, really?
That's all I've got.
Okay. Nobody got anyone else?
What about
I want to reference David Bowie riding on a white tiger made of lightning somehow.
Versus
Freddie Mercury riding on a tiger.
No, because
Makes a supersonic man out of you.
Because they're up there right now, just like
Jamming?
versus Severus Snape at the top of Nakatomi Tower with a crew of bad guys.
I was going to say Severus
Full
Snape.
circle.
Severus Snape versus Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber shoots him at the count of 2.
because Snape is going Hans Gruber.
And he's gonna be just like, I have a better suit than you. Bam!
Bam. Dead.
Deads.
It just takes long to speak out those spells.
Right?
Indiana Jones versus Han Solo.
See, here's the funny thing is
First.
somebody at Comic-Con asked Harrison Ford if Han Solo and Indiana Jones met, what would they say? And Harrison Ford got this look on his face like, you dumb shit. He goes, I don't know. Hi?
Well, to be fair, if they were in a confrontation, Han Solo would shoot first.
Yeah,
I was just
I
going to
think
say,
Han
depends on
Solo
who shoots
has.
first.
Yeah, like
I mean, to be fair,
I should have
Indy
jumped
also-
6 seconds ago. What the hell, Bill?
I literally said like LB said. I was giving credit because nobody heard me.
After the fact.
Indy had his shooting first moment too.
But
He did.
He was all like cinematic and
But-
like
But
playing
would
it out.
Indy go for the gun or would he go for the whip?
It didn't matter. Han would have shot him already.
It's true.
I bet you have. Blam.
But Chewie would have done it.
Okay, hold on. Also, real
But the
quick,
real question is, which travels faster, a bullet or a space laser?
space laser because it's traveling pretty fast.
Laser!
Also, the whole thing about Han shooting first is dumb. Han only shot. Greedo never got a shot off. Let's put that to rest. That whole statement is wrong.
Fair
1970s Carrie Fisher versus 2015 Carrie Fisher.
Bring me Solo and the Wookiee.
Well, we know who wins because the younger Carrie Fisher choked her out with a chain.
Well
Confirmed.
answered.
Over a couple of
Confirmed.
drinks, this is a dick to fat women.
Oh, God.
I'm
Oh,
not
God.
a dick to fat women. I just don't
John just hates Carrie Fisher.
don't play the victim card when you did it to yourself. Okay.
What about Batman versus Daredevil?
Ooh,
Ooh.
that'd be fun to watch.
Okay, real quick. Who would win? Just to segue real quick. Daredevil or Spider-Man?
I think that
Spider-Man.
fight has happened.
Spider-Man would win.
He's got super strength.
Okay,
I mean,
that doesn't help because Spider-Man beats Batman hands down.
You think so?
Yeah, anything Batman can pull out of him, Spider-Sense counters. His main thing is darkness. Spider-Sense counters darkness.
That's true.
I'm almost tempted to say Daredevil, just because I don't know. I hate Spider-Man, so it's a tough call.
I think
He's like
wins.
legitimately one of the worst superheroes ever.
I'm gonna go Batman beats Daredevil.
It'd be close.
I feel like someone's trying to make me angry.
You wouldn't like him when he's angry.
I'm hoping that's all that's going on, that you're just yanking my chain here.
LB is literally Peter Parker, by the way. Oh God.
I stand by my statement.
So who would win, Batman or Daredevil?
You think I have an answer? I'm asking
Yeah.
you guys.
I'm asking everybody else.
Batman.
Batman?
I don't know. I mean, Batman relies on a lot of gizmos, and I feel like a flash grenade wouldn't do him much good against Daredevil, so...
Who is in fact blind.
I do. So, I don't know.
But the explosion of the flash grenade would cause an overload of things.
True. I might have to give it to Batman in that case.
Yeah. Okay, so who would win in a fight, Batman or Wolverine?
Wolverine. As much as I hate Wolverine.
I want to say Batman because I don't like Wolverine anymore.
Yeah.
Correction, the writers would have it be a stalemate because they're both wildly overpowered.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't sell.
Okay, real question now. Who would win, Mojo?
Jojo?
No, Mojo. Just
Mojo.
Just
from the
Mojo.
Mojoverse.
From the Mojoverse, or Jabba the Hutt.
Oh my god, Jabba hands down, because he would get so annoyed with Mojo, he'd just have him shot in the head.
Or drop down to the Rancor pit.
Jabba would totally...
He gets stuck in the fucking trapdoor.
Jabba would
It
cheat.
depends. Jabba would cheat.
Jabba would cheat. And
But I feel like Mojo would try to cheat too, especially if Spiral were there.
well, to be fair, the main form of killing a Hutt via Hutt is slamming their body together, and I don't think Mojo could survive Jabba the Hutt slamming his body into his fucking ass.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's not good.
You know, it's funny. For some reason, Jabba the Hutt is like one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever, because he's just this big, fat, disgusting slob that everyone's afraid of. I mean, what do you have to do to get that much cred in the universe that you can just be a fat, disgusting blob who sits around all day and yet nobody wants to fuck with you?
If you read up on the rest of his backstory, he killed his entire family.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's hardcore.
yeah, he is.
By slamming his body into a
The only thing that he did not withstand is a chain.
Okay.
Weakness chains.
Here we go. And if we don't have any more, we're going to be done. Animal from the Muppets versus Salacious Crumb.
Animal.
Animal, yeah.
Animal would eat.
He'd have to chase him around, and it would be hilarious for a while. But
Right?
Throwing
Fuzzy
his
monkey.
drumstick
Fuzzy
at him.
monkey.
Fuzzy monkey.
Ah!
So here's a quick thing about looking forward to 2016. Next month, there's this little movie coming out called Deadpool that we're all kind of probably feeling strongly about one way or another. And this thing got posted. This woman is trying to. She does like trailer reviews, and she put up this thing, and it's a petition she started. It's a petition I started for she wants a PG-13 cut of Deadpool in honor of an 8-year-old named Matt who wants to see it, and it has almost 1,000 signatures. And Deadpool responded officially on Twitter. He says, "Dear little boy who wants to see my movie, no, you can't see it. It's for big boys and girls. Fuck you. Your mom's a whore. Love Deadpool."
Now, to be fair, I don't know if I did on here, but I did pitch how a PG-13 Deadpool would work. And I honestly would go see the movie with the sense of Deadpool literally stopping the film going, "Why is there no blood here?
Or like, did you just bleep me?
Did you just bleep my bleepy bleep bleep bleep, you mother bleepers?" It's like, Deadpool, it's PG-13. Who signed on this shit? And we can't have blood and you can't swear. Well, I get one F-bomb, right? Yes. And then all of a sudden a little counter shows up on the bottom of the screen where it's counting down to the one F-bomb. And he goes, "I'm going to color in blood with color crayon. You can't use red. I will use purple." And just
This is blood.
have it all like that, and it would work, and everyone would eat it up, and it would be hilarious with him literally getting pissed at Fox executives. That would be Deadpool, and that's how you do a PG-13 Deadpool, by the way. But I'm super glad that it's red.
Either way, the million moms are going to be mad about it. The Westboro Baptist Church is probably going to protest it, and it's going to be the best movie ever.
I think I literally fell in love with it with the Christmas Band one, where he goes, "You're probably saying to yourself, this is a superhero film, but that guy just turned that guy into a fucking shish kebab." And then zooms in on his ass.
You look like Freddy Krueger face-fucked a topographical map of Utah.
I also really enjoy that they're overdubbing, so we don't know what the actual jokes are going to be.
Right.
With we've heard it 100 times of like, you're probably wondering why I have the red suit. So that's so bad guys don't see me bleed, and that guy's wearing the brown pants for the right reason. Except then they showed the scene where it was like, listen, I only have 10 bullets, so you guys have to share. And I'm like, that's brilliant, okay? This is great. I'm glad we're not getting...
Well, a friend of mine actually had a theory about that, because you know how Deadpool will, like, rifle through his brain for the perfect joke before he says
God,
it?
is he going to rewind it every time? Oh my god, that's going to be brilliant. That's going to be... This movie's going to hit the dot so well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to make a lot of money because it's going to be so fucking bizarre. It's going to be...
I'm really hoping Hugh Jackman gets a cameo.
Oh my god, please.
There's been a big rumor that he will, and I still want him to show up in the dumbest costume ever.
Yes.
And then Deadpool goes, if I looked stupid in your movie, you're gonna look stupid in mine.
Oh
Yes.
my god, I just love that Colossus is played by a giant Russian man. Finally.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Is he actually supposed to be Colossus?
Yeah, he's actually Colossus. He calls him Colossus in one of them. He goes, Deadpool, we can't allow this behavior. I don't have time for your fucking X-Men bullshit, man. No one's dying, and all of a sudden a guy falls off the thing. He goes, that guy was up there before I got here. So.
Yes.
And LB froze. Nope, he's back.
Nope.
He's back. So Deadpool. Gonna be great.
Deadpool.
Gonna be great. Gonna be the first movie I'm excited for this year.
Yep.
I'm going to probably see it on Valentine's Day because I'm classy like that. I love that they're doing the romantic comedy posters. Holy shit.
So funny.
True love is never saying, is undying. That's brilliant. All right.
The best romantic comedy ever here. Deadpool.
Deadpool.
All right. Anybody got anything else to say before we phase out? Eric Rohman, this is your last appearance on this podcast because I can't afford
Until the next celebrity dies.
I can't afford my childhood taking another hit.
I will do my best to not cost you any more
Pain.
pain. It was unintentional, folks. I'm sorry.
I honestly think the next time you're on will probably be when Val Kilmer dies. Because he was in just about everything in my childhood.
I really have much to say about him.
At least 20 more years.
I'm just saying, Val Kilmer was in Willow, okay? He was in Real Genius, okay? He was in, what was that one called?
Batman Forever?
No. Top Secret.
Yeah, and then he turned into Carrie Fisher. I don't know what
Then
happened.
he turned into Jabba the Hutt. That guy aged badly. He ate himself. He went
Who
back.
would win 2015 Carrie Fisher or 2015 Val Kilmer?
They'd kill each other by throwing their bodies up against one another.
Like that. Oh my god.
LB's done.
And
Oh, it's a good thing no one
And on
watches
that
this
note-
show.
yeah, and with that, we're ending with Lazarus by David Bowie as our final goodbye, as we just basically made fun of Carrie Fisher all this last time. Oh, fuck us. All right, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I fucking hate you people.
Well, you end every show that way.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes I don't want to.
I've got scars.
But you do
can't be
anyway.
seen.
I do end it that way. We're doing the
I've
outro, by
got
the way.
drama. Can't be stolen.
Nobody got anything to say?
Oh, wait, we not done?
Everybody knows
No.
me now.
Oh, I thought we were going to end on the I hate you guys. Cut the play.
I'm gonna go